Welcome, and thank you for clicking on my video. And just like that, we're to Sunday, which is one day away from Monday, where the market's going to open, and we need to see which way on these shorter time frames the market is going to shape up. Are we going to be able to squeeze to the upside to get rid of it? These signals going on here, because these signals here do show us some extreme divergence, some extreme weakness and momentum, which we talked about in yesterday's video. If you want to go give that a look for the potential for a weekly pullback. But today we're going to be getting into those shorter time frames, so buckle up so you can get some weekly expected moves for the SPY and the Qs, and then we'll jump into some other charts. Let's get into it. First of all, let's just point out that we do still have the daily divergences. Once again, there is a video that I put out over the weekend. If you would like to go give that a look, it is the previous video to this one. You can go check it out on my channel. It'll give you the bigger time frames, the daily and weekly charts. But today we have to go into 2-hour charts and give you guys first off the weekly expected moves. The daily ones for tomorrow, we see 655.84 to the upside for the SPY. 638.64 to the downside. Not a lot of implied volatility, really, as what I expected, but I believe the weekly expected moves in individual names do have a higher implied volatility. So very interesting for the SPY. Let's just read off the daily expected moves as well. 649.68 to the upside, 644.80 to the downside. What is the biggest part to what's going on here? A lot of people pointing out the fact that this can be triple divergence, and I believe they are correct in doing so, even though the confirmation, which this confirmation was about the same as this one, so you would suggest that this is divergence. So what needs to happen here for, say, bulls for this divergence not to confirm? Let's just talk about the way that this could go up. Well, what would need to happen is the 2-hour does not confirm down, right? If we start to see the 2-hour confirm down like this in the price, confirm on the MACD, confirm on the RSI, all the probabilities are going to be leaning towards that weekly pullback that we discussed as far as the daily time frame goes. But as we see on the 30-minute, this is going to be a great hint for Monday. Okay, so if that 2 hour is going to cross down, what do we normally see when the 2 hour is going to cross down? Well, I'll show you, right? This is a 2-hour pullback right here. This is a 2-hour pullback right here. You have rejection divergence across the top. Okay, so divergence on the 30-minute. And then you have divergence right here for the 30-minute on the RSI and MACD at the same time back here for the SPY. And what happened? A 2-hour pullback happened again. So what would we want to see in the near price action to give us a hint? Well, we would want to see a divergence or a somehow maybe a lower high, right? A lower high in some fashion. That being said, it's been showing up as divergence a lot of the time. We have a 30-minute that is in positive territory. So something we can look out for on Monday is, do people get excited and do we see that roll during the day? That would be very, very interesting. But as the implied volatility for Monday is very low, we could see kind of a nothing burger of a day before we're able to actually curl this 30-minute up into positive territory. So just be aware of that. But the main portion of this part of the video is just to suggest we have the daily divergences still confirmed. We have the 2-hour divergences that say, hey, yes, this could be another fake out if we confirm back down. And now we're looking at the 30-minute chart going, what would show us the weakness? Well, 30-minute divergences have been showing us that weakness very, very well. So whenever we see this kind of shape on the MACD and we see that divergence while the price is up and a little bit higher, then we'll know, hey, there might be a trap in store for us here. And if we see confirmations, what do? We just try to execute on your plans and have a plan for if that goes wrong. Because in yesterday's video, we did discuss why the market could end up still going sideways for a bit of time in September. Then we can get into the Qs, the weekly expected moves being 586.36 to the upside, and we have 565.76 to the downside. If you wanted the daily expected boost for Monday, which I've been trying, I think I have been able to put aside a lot of time and redo my schedule so that I can put out YouTube videos almost every day. So if you want daily expected moves every day, make sure you're subscribed, and we'll put out some info most days of the week. 579.27 for the daily expected move upside. That is for Monday. We have 572.85 to the downside. Now, we're going to do Qs a little bit backwards, right? So we're looking at the 30-minute first. Doesn't matter which direction you go. For the Qs, very important, I think, that they do not make a new high here. That being said, looking at the positioning of the MACD, just looking at the shape of the MACD, it could be in store for us that slow grinding out, right? We're still looking for a divergence right here. Why? So the 2 hour can rotate back down into negative territory and we can start to violate the potential divergences that were here. That's right. You do still have the ability to squeeze. So if this 30-minute curls up, is that a bad thing or a good thing for bulls? It's a good thing. So if the 30-minute curls up, I'm not guessing that this will roll up here. I'm not guessing. I have to see at least maybe weakness in the shorter time frames, like really short ones if you're good with micro, or I have to see the 30-minute confirm to the downside. All right, that's going to be very important because if this just shoots up, ends the day like this, and then the next day you just keep going, you squeeze, you just rose the floor. So let's make sure to be patient, wait for the actual confirmations and the reasons for your trade to solidify. That's the overall concept there. And then have a plan for if it goes wrong in case the time extends into September OPEX. So the 30-minute may want to drop down here, though. It may want one more push down to a daily expected move to buy some time. Then we actually get that curl up very like into even like Wednesday. And then Wednesday, we could see something a little bit rough. Now, why overall would I be looking at potentially Wednesday? Well, if we go over and look at the data, we will be getting not only on Tuesday the non-farm payrolls annual revision on September 9th, but we will be getting PPI on September 10th and CPI on September 11th. So we'll get a lot of stuff pretty much from like Tuesday on, but maybe we see some bait with one piece of data that creates that divergence. That's all I'm reading into as of right now. Sorry, I wanted to read off some of the data. A lot of data this week. Make sure you're looking at tradingeconomics.com/calendar. But I'm looking for a 30-minute divergence here to show me that the 2 hour can roll negative and start to ruin these divergences that were potentially created here. Why do I want to see that? Because if we end up squeezing, we can curl the daily chart up. If the daily chart does curl up, we have the opportunity to do what? If we really raise that floor, we could wipe out all these divergences. And then at that point, if you see this RSI just boom to the sky like this, yeah, you're just going to pull back like this and keep going. You're going to see more and more stuff like this is my overall opinion. So watch out if you do squeeze to the upside, but right now everything is pointing towards, hey, we are holding every signal. So watch out for those shorter time frame reversals. Now, we didn't do this on Saturday, but I just wanted to take a snapshot and just go through and get my initial opinion because I haven't been able to put aside the time to look through each one of these individually like I normally do when I do talk about individual stocks, but I will just give a brief outlook for what does their daily chart look like as far as risk to reward goes and things like that. So as you look at Apple, you initially just go, okay, there's divergence here. Like you just see the daily divergence here. Now, this doesn't have to be absolutely terrible because the divergence is taking place up here on the MACD very, very high up. So this still could potentially like pull back into this gap and then try to make its next move higher. But a lot of these type of looks, if they're going to end in the downward direction, will see a drop and then they will bounce back up to at least show like that right shoulder that could have been. Okay, so watch out for that from Apple, but you do have divergence there. A lot of these end up with a lower high when they look like that. Tesla, very interesting because initially we were saying, okay, this is breaking out, right? We were correct in this area, right? The 2 hour divergence down here. And it ends up pushing to the upside. We see the retest come in. We see another retest come in. Is this thing going to blow off the top here? From the daily chart, you can't tell too much. You're just very, very coiled up. So actually for something like Tesla, you would want to watch this 2 hour for a potential double top early on next week. Now, that could still have plenty of time left, right? You see this. You don't have 30-minute divergences. I know I said I'm going to do dailies, but Tesla needs this. So it would make sense if like Tesla backed off, went to that 5, retested, tried to break out, and then flopped, or right here's where you can squeeze. So, right, we should pay attention to confirmations as far as it goes. Amazon, let's just look on the daily time frame again. It looks like it's just wound up in this area. Big drop, trying to scale up, trying to break through. Will it be able to? I don't know that it will. You are still actually now you actually do have that like very, very for sure point of divergence still there. So multiple point divergence, not my favorite in the world. But I would just say if the daily can confirm down, we could potentially say just barely a double top or a lower high. So Amazon's going to be a tough one, but I would still really think that if we're going to see weakness for the SPY, then I would say there's going to be weakness for Amazon. Nvidia is in an interesting spot. I will admit that, because Nvidia signals I did actually look at. The daily chart is by the center line. So what do we watch for here? Well, if we're going to squeeze, if we're not going to see the weekly pullback, but for some reason we squeeze, I think Nvidia is the one to do it. I think a lot of these semiconductors are by that center line. And if you look at these, they have little bits of 2-hour divergence and things like that. So, oh gosh, they do. You can see it right here on the RSI. You can see on the near price action, you have 30-minute divergence in the near price action. So that's crazy. And then AMD, this is, oh yeah, this is the one that I mentioned. And I was like, yeah, you got a confirmation for it. Like, you barely got the confirmation for it. And this is something that does happen. And it gets kind of rough because it's just like, oh, you have to manage the trade right away. So this is where positioning size and things like that are very important. But AMD just completely flopping the move out of nowhere. Pretty crazy to me. Wiping out the 2-hour divergences potential to be created. So you look at this daily by that center line and you're not getting the best hints anymore, right? That kind of wiped you out. But I wonder if this is some kind of cupping and then we go make that big right shoulder and then we start to fall down. We'll have to see for AMD. That one's a toughie. The daily scale for Meta, if that is able to curl up. Actually, AMD is not tough. It's the MACD's down here. If it swings to the upside, we're going up. For Meta, though, we see the divergences still holding on the MACD and RSI. Doesn't mean we can't make one last push, right? We could go up into OpEx. We could go up into September 30th, the quarterly OpEx, right? We talked about that yesterday. So if this wants to curl up, then you might have a swing trade to test the high, go make a new one. But I would really be watching out for potential divergences, looking at monthly moves, all that good stuff. Oh, nice. Little 2-hour divergence down here to tell you that that's possible. So right now, the 2-hour divergence getting it right. So Meta's likely to see something like this. It needs to roll on the 2-hour. Microsoft, not able to curl up by the center line. That makes sense with the daily triple divergence there. And the weekly should be getting a pullback at this point, and you're actually getting a weekly confirmation. Now, we can see a counter trend move. You can always bounce from any area, right? But it's going to start to really leak into, hey, lower highs. Yeah, 2-hour here trying to make just the weirdest divergences. So I think the RSI is holding the points very well with here, here, and here. So if the 2-hour is able to curl up, I'd say that the daily might actually get a bounce here, and we might see that little squeeze into the end of the month. Google just an absolute skyrocket, and this is the craziest thing to me about the market right now is the fact that names like Google can pump by 10% or so like as they hit new all-time highs. That's just crazy to me. But daily scale, I really wanted to use Google as an example and say, hey, if this daily does confirm and unconfirmed, and that's the problem. So we weren't able to fully confirm again right down here. So we ended up curling up the momentum, and then it was all positive. Let's look at the 2-hour. See, that is unfortunate. So, but the divergence was gotten rid of here. So Google's going to be a tough one. Most likely it will retrace and things like that, but that is a massive move all of a sudden. AMC signals have really deteriorated. I'm sorry to say that. I'm glad that the MACD is still showing the divergence. It gives you a chance. But as it stands, the divergences on the RSI just do not look very good. They look very flat in the near price action. That's like all you got. So as far as AMC goes, you need this thing to curl up and you need that thing to go positive. That's what I overall think about AMC. As far as GME goes, it's finally about to go positive with all the like squeeze like things, but a lot of the time this could just be a build up to the center line. So if you start to confirm bars down here, that can mean another leg down. That can mean you're going down to like probably $19, $20, somewhere in here. That would make a lot of sense to come back down into here, I think around $20. So you confirm down here, it's not good. So you're wanting this to curl up and go up very strongly into positive territory. I think that's pretty much all the ones that I have time for. So volatility at the end of this video, just so you are aware, the 2-hour chart is still by the center line. So we have the opportunity to see volatility come in pretty early on in the week. But if the 30-minute is able to reject here, which it is, that there is a good shot that we're going to need to make new reversal signals going into Monday close, or I would say Tuesday morning. So just be aware of that. But for today, guys, it looks like the 2 hour divergence hasn't confirmed just yet to the downside, but it is something to look out for, and you have some critical levels to watch with it. And if you are looking for weakness on Monday, if you see a 30-minute divergence pop up, maybe utilizing the daily expected moves, that'd be a good thing, right? It's good to pay attention to those shorter time frames to see if the bigger ones will roll. Hey, I thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for liking, subscribing. Join Patreon. We just put out all the weekly expected moves if you like to trade those individual stocks. But other than that, I hope you have a great Sunday and peace out. Later, guys.